You are alone in a room right now, or you might as well be. Your phone is next to you, your friends are a text away, and yet something in your chest feels hollow. Strange, isn't it? You have never been more connected. You have never felt more cut off. For most of human history, that feeling would have killed you. Not metaphorically, literally. Your brain did not evolve to handle isolation the way it handles hunger or cold. It evolved to treat isolation as a 5-alarm emergency. When you feel lonely, your body is not being dramatic. It is running a survival program written 200,000 years ago when being alone meant being unprotected, unfed, and unwatched by the only creatures who could keep you alive. Think about that for a second. Why does loneliness hurt? Not sadness. Hurt. An actual physical ache, the kind you feel in your ribs. In the early 2000s, a psychologist named John Cacioppo started asking that exact question. He spent decades studying what loneliness does to the human body, and what he found should terrify anyone who has ever eaten dinner alone in front of a screen. Cacioppo discovered that chronic loneliness raises stress hormones, disrupts sleep, and inflames the cardiovascular system, almost as if the body is bracing for an attack that never comes. Your ancestors' bodies braced the same way, except back then, the attack was real. Picture a small band of early humans on the savannah, maybe 30 people, maybe fewer. There is no wall around them, no door to lock, no 911 to call. Their only real defense against lions, rival groups, and starvation is each other. A person who wandered off from the group, who got left behind, who was excluded and ignored, did not just feel bad. That person often died. Loneliness was not an emotion your ancestors could afford to ignore. It was a siren. So, evolution built the siren in. Your brain rewards connection with dopamine, the same chemical that rewards food and sex, because connection used to be just as essential to staying alive. And your brain punishes isolation with something that mimics physical pain. In 2003, a researcher named Naomi Eisenberger ran an experiment that changed how scientists understood this. She had people play a simple ball-tossing game inside a brain scanner, and then secretly excluded them from the game. The other players just stopped throwing them the ball. What lit up in their brains was the same region that activates when you stub your toe or burn your hand. Social rejection, to your brain, is not so different from physical injury. It is coded the exact same way. That is why being left out of a group chat can ruin your whole afternoon. That is why silence after a text can feel unbearable. You are not overreacting. You are running ancient software on modern hardware, and the software has no idea the stakes have changed. But here is where it gets stranger. Loneliness does not just feel dangerous. It is dangerous, in a very literal, very modern, very measurable way. In 2015, a researcher named Julianne Holt-Lunstad analyzed data from over 3 million people across dozens of studies, and the results reshaped how doctors think about health. She found that chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death by a margin comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. 15 a day. Loneliness was found to be more dangerous than obesity, more dangerous than physical inactivity, almost as dangerous as alcoholism. Sit with that for a moment. A feeling, an emotion you can't see or touch, slowly wearing down your heart, your immune system, your lifespan, the same way a pack of cigarettes might. Why would a feeling have that kind of power over a body? Because for nearly all of human history, isolation and death were the same signal. Your nervous system never got the memo that things changed. It still treats alone as unsafe, and unsafe as a reason to flood your bloodstream with cortisol, tighten your muscles, and keep you in a low hum of alertness that never fully switches off. Do that for a few hours, and you feel anxious. Do it for years, and it wears your body down like rust on metal. There's an experiment from decades earlier that shows just how deep this need runs, long before Holt-Lunstad ever crunched a single number. In the 1950s, a researcher named Harry Harlow separated infant monkeys from their mothers and gave them 2 artificial substitutes. One was made of bare wire but dispensed milk. The other was soft, cloth-covered, and warm, but gave no food at all. Which one do you think the baby monkeys chose? They clung to the cloth mother, almost all of them. Even though it offered no food, even though survival, on paper, should have sent them to the wire. They would stretch over to the wire mother just long enough to feed, and then rush straight back to the comfort of the cloth. Connection, it turned out, was not a luxury layered on top of survival. For a developing brain, connection was survival, every bit as much as milk. You still carry that infant logic somewhere inside you, not just as a preference for company, as a biological requirement, wired in before you could even speak. So think about the world you actually live in now. You can go an entire day exchanging words with no one but a delivery app and a customer service chatbot. You can watch other people's lives unfold on a screen without ever really touching one. Your ancient alarm system has no idea what a screen is. It only knows one thing: you are not truly near anyone. And so it keeps ringing, quietly, in the background of your day, whether you notice it or not. A sociologist named Sherry Turkle spent years studying this exact gap, the space between being surrounded by devices and being genuinely known by another person. Her research described a modern condition she called being alone together. Rooms full of people, all present, all physically close, all somewhere else entirely. Turkle's work suggested that this kind of connection, the thin, constant, low-effort kind, can leave people feeling more depleted, not less, because it triggers just enough social signal to quiet the alarm for a moment without ever fully answering it. That is the trap. Scrolling feels like connection. Liking a photo feels like connection. But your nervous system, the same one built on the savannah, is not easily fooled. It knows the difference between being seen and being watched, between being heard and being heard of. It is waiting for something your thumb cannot give it. So what does actually answer the alarm? Not more contact? Better contact. Studies on loneliness consistently point to the same conclusion. It is not the number of people around you that matters. It is whether at least one of them truly knows what is going on inside you. A single real conversation, the kind where you say something true and someone responds with their full attention, appears to do more for your nervous system than an entire day of passive scrolling through other people's highlight reels. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Your body cannot tell the difference between "no one loves me" and "I haven't had a real conversation in 3 days." Both trigger the same ancient warning. Both raise the same stress hormones. Your brain is not measuring how popular you are. It is measuring how truly known you are, moment to moment. And it has been measuring that exact thing since long before language even existed. Which means the modern epidemic of loneliness is not really new. Isolation is old. What's new is the disguise. For the first time in human history, you can look surrounded and still be starving. You can have 400 contacts and no one to call at 2 in the morning. The wiring inside you has not changed in 200,000 years. Only the shape of the danger has. Your ancestors listened to that ache and moved closer to the fire, closer to the group, because ignoring it could mean death. You still have that same ache. It's just quieter now, buried under notifications and small talk and the illusion of company. But it is still there, still ringing, still asking the same question it has always asked. Who is actually with you? Tonight, when the sun goes down, you might flip on a screen instead of picking up a phone to call someone who knows you. And somewhere underneath all that modern noise, an alarm 200,000 years old will keep quietly ringing, waiting for you to finally answer it.